All right, so this story is the craziest morning I've ever had in my fucking life, okay? I mean, I haven't, no one died, but it was just like wild, okay? So I started my day, I woke up, sadly. I brushed my teeth, I got dressed, and then I got either a text or a phone call from one of my friends. And let's call her Abby, okay? So she contacted me saying that she needed to go to this Walmart in Bumblefuck. Fuck, even though there was one close to our house, and she wanted to get her birth control pills. So I'm like, okay, cool. I go to her house. I wait for her. I'm literally like blasting music at this point. Uh, and I just didn't really give a shit. It wasn't until I noticed, like, I felt some kind of like something, like I don't know. I'm not spiritual. I hate spiritual things, people, and stuff like that. But I'm like I sense something. Like when Spider-Man uh, senses something and it happens and shit like that. Yeah. Um, so there was her neighbor was watching me on the left side, or her right side, pretty much. Her neighbor was watching me, and so like I stare back, and he tells me if I could lower the music, and me being a dickhead, I was like fuck no, and I rolled up the windows, and like he goes off and he tries to call the cops, bro. He tries to call the cops. This fucking Robert tries to call the cops because I'm blasting music at like 10 o'clock a.m. Buddy, they're not going to do anything. They're not going to do anything. So as he starts dying, whoever he needs to call, my friend comes out and they talk. And she comes out to me and she was like, "Hey man, he's about to call the cops." And I'm like, "What the fuck is he going to do?" Cops can't do anything. And I just start going off as we drive off. So we go to her pharmacy. She picks up her birth control pills. She still wanted to hang out, so I'm like, okay, let's go to my house. And we go into my room, and I didn't think anyone was home, so I thought she thought she could like just tickle me. And I'm very ticklish, okay? I can't deal being ticklish, or being tickled. I'm sorry. Uh, so I told her not to, and during this part, like I'm in my whole phase, okay? I have already been with other females. I think I told this story before. I was going through a whole phase, and she just starts tickling me, and I'm like, all right, you know what? Keep on doing it. Something is going to happen, and we did it. We pulled the daisies, bro. We did the birds and the bees. But what I didn't realize was that my parents were home. And this is like before, like this is during her tickling me, but yeah, they knocked on the door while we were like chilling on my bed, and my mom was like, no, I think it was my dad. No, it was my mom. My mom said, "Hey, we're going to the store. Do you want anything?" And I'm like, no, I'm good, man. I'm good." So after they leave, that's when we started pulling the daisies, birds and the bees. Like 10 minutes after they leave, we were like, okay, let's get the fuck out of here. So we leave, but I leave the whole mess behind, condoms and whatnot and other stuff. I don't really want to mention why, because I'm kind of embarrassed. Um, so we left. We leave all the fucking mess behind, okay? I was taking her back home, and that's when my parents came home. But before I took her home, we went to get Taco Bell. So my parents came home. My mom actually cleaned up my room my messy ass, stinky ass, I don't even know why room. I I'm so fucking embarrassed, yo. Like, So as soon as I got home, right, my dad just pulls me over and like, he was like, hey, son, come here, son. You've been having sex, aren't you? And I'm like, yeah. I thought he was gonna yell at me, but no, he was happy. He was proud of me. He was like that proud dad, like, oh, good son, come here, sit down. I'm like, oh no, my ass hurts. But no, that didn't happen. But he just tells me to just clean after myself, and I'm like, yeah, sure, of course, I'll do that. And I've been cleaning myself after after that. But it was just that spur of the moment that I just left all that mess behind. So I don't have it here, but moral of the story is just clean after yourself. Don't bother anyone, and yeah, just be a good person, you know? Just be a good person. Do I still talk to them? No. That's going to be a different story for a different video. But yeah, further ado, guys, I love you guys. Peace.